what I can do in their lives. This is what this is talking about. You're not playing with anything. I wish folks would get this together. This is not a plaything. We have to understand we have an awesome responsibility down here. That is to bring God's children back to him. And he's trusting us to do it. He's making a plan. You're going to have a little stripes. You're going to have a little stuff going down on you. I'm sorry, but don't let them see you sweat. You see what I'm saying? Because let's go back and then we'll come back. Let's go back now in strife, back to that fifth verse. Now listen what it, imprisonment and tumult and labor and watching and fasting. Okay? Get that in your mind. In fasting. But it's the fasting that he chooses.
Yes, sir.
Now some folks like to do their own fast. Well, see, we're going to do it, but if we're going to fast, if you want to do that, I don't know whether God did or not. But you have to know that if you're fasting to ingratiate yourself, then you're not fasting for God. Don't get quiet on me now. It's the truth now. See, God asked us, Isaiah 58, y'all mind going there with me for a minute? Now, a lot of folks use this and beat folks up with it. But that's not what you're about. God wants you to do this. Yes, it says, first verse, Isaiah 58, cry loud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. Now we understand that. I want you to kind of read the rest of it. See, folks get to performing their own fast. They want to fast so they can do this and they do that. But see, the greatest thing you can do is get that word up here. And whatever you're doing for the Lord, let the word lead and his spirit lead, guide, and direct you. Now, if he told you to fast, you will have no trouble fasting. But I've seen too many times choirs say, we're going to fast. And some folks get real bent out of shape because they couldn't come through with it. And they think they're hurting somebody. No, that's the fast y'all proclaim. Because when God tells you to fast, you don't have no problem. And there's a reason that he's having, because he knows you. What is it? Why couldn't we cast them boys out? The man said, I brought them to your disciples. They couldn't do nothing. Then they got talking to, why couldn't we cast? He said, certain of them, the only way they come out is by prayer and fasting. So he has to tell you when. And when you do it that way, you'll always have the power you need. Now this is what God wants us to do in the seventh verse. I want you to read the rest. Here's what it's all about. Now in this case, I want you to let your spiritual mind run a little bit. Yes, it's talking about, but here's the rub. Listen what he said. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry? Now understand what he's saying there. That means you got some bread in the natural or in the spiritual realm. Now any of y'all know about dealing, because some of you play spades and everything. Don't act like y'all know what I'm talking about. What you do, you're casting that stuff out, ain't you? So that's what he's talking about. Isn't it our responsibility to deal the bread that I gave you to a sin-sick and dying world? Instead of you sitting up there talking about you want to fast some more so you can get spiritually fat and do nothing with it? Remember, I took it from that other guy. He comes out, I knew you were an austere man and I hid it. He doesn't want you to hide the truth. He wants you to share it to a hungry world who they're trying every day, going to work, but they seem like they don't understand because they don't put God in it. I don't care how much you make. It's like putting it in a bag with a hole in it, and it goes out, and those ain't about nothing. Get your money. The Kenites. It makes God angry when my children just giving my blessing away. Don't get quiet on me now. You just let the folks tell you anything. Now when thou seest the naked, that thou cover him. Now that's a very strange word. You understand? When I see someone naked, when you see somebody out there so far in left field and God put them in your place, y'all bump together. You ain't talking about covering their nakedness in the sense of their clothing. That's all a part of it too. But what he means, they're naked because what? The devil has whooped them naked. What do you mean what? Ask the sons of Sceva, running up on talking about in the name of Paul's whatever, and the demons whip them naked. Someone can be fully clothed and they're naked as a jaybird because they don't know God. And some of you sitting in there naked now and you don't even know it. Because it's your righteous acts. You don't think that weave the cloth that will make your garment in heaven. Revelations 19, it's the righteous acts of the saints. There's no better righteous you can do than to invite somebody to meet their maker. And yet you sit there naked because you are afraid to cover them with what? With the word. And thou hide, he said, well, wait a minute now, you better cool your jets. And that hide not thyself from thy own flesh. Question, because of your lack or your unwillingness to do what God says, you start responding in your own flesh. Well, got to be careful now. See, what you don't understand, when you are out there working for the Lord, your health is wrapped up in how well you kind of cash your bread around. I didn't write it. Let's read what it said. Now, when I do this, look what he said. Listen. Health. Well, all of that is tied in there. Listen what he said. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out of thy house, when thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou, don't get it. You got to watch your own flesh. What happens after that? When you're willing to really cash your bread, what is it? Then, emphatic statement, shall thou call unto Yahweh the Father. And what's going to happen? He shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say what? Here I am. The great I am says, all you got to do, and when we have a little session together, and it's a personal relationship, and I deposit something in your spirit, either in church or wherever we meet sometime, then he says, when you call me, I didn't say that. Can you read? See, that's two distinct things. It said, then shall thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Jeremiah 33:3. That just popped in my spirit. Let's see what the Lord said. Two witnesses make a so one. See, look what he says. I want y'all to begin to get to, well, what does that really mean? I'm in a position where, Father, I see you put this person in my path, but I don't know what to say. And when the minute I said, if you lack wisdom, who you supposed to ask? And he told you, I will give you what? An unction, and then what? You'll know all things. But what did it say that? I think Jeremiah 33. What, did I say 33:3? Yeah, read that. See, he wants you to call. Why? Let's see what it says.
Call upon me.
There you go.
And I will answer thee.
What you say?
And show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not.
Think about that. The minute you are not afraid, or you are not ashamed of the gospel, and you don't mind dealing it, casting it, whatever it takes. Because Paul said in one of his writings, I will be all things to all men to earn the more. That don't mean he's going to do nothing wrong. He's saying that I'm going to try to approach them as the Spirit will give me utterance. You see what I mean? Shall cry, and he shall say, cry. Now you got to understand that one. Call and cry, two different things. Come on now. Somebody can call you and talk to you, but when they call you and talking and they're crying, something happened on the inside, don't it? Whoa, Lord, something happened on the inside. You know something, it takes a little more than some little idle words. This person needs you to go in prayer for them. And then conversely, God said, and I shall say, here I am. The great I am saying, I will come to you. Does anybody hear what God is saying?
Yes, Lord.
I think little Samuel understand. It took him a